Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Today I'm going to be planning the week of December 6th in my memory planner, which is of course my Aura Estelle A5 white cloud planner. These are my Caress Press inserts. My next two spreads are going to be out of order, timeline sequentially. I still have not planned the week before this, which was the week of Hanukkah, but I am waiting for one thing to come in the mail before I jump in with that. In the meantime, both of these weeks have already happened, so I'm going to go ahead and plan this week first so I don't get behind in my memory spreads, and I'm going to be using this kit called Holiday Mail from Caress Press. I think this is so cute. I love just like the present vibes. This week was actually my husband's birthday, so it's kind of perfect for that too. All these holiday packages, birthday packages, whatever you want to call them. This is the essential size kit, so you do get tons and tons of functional items, deco, glitter headers, everything. Here is the bottom washi and an extra full box, and then along with that extra full box, this did come with some alternatives for that as a freebie, including a Hanukkah card. This was actually after Hanukkah, but I think I'm probably still going to go ahead and use that Hanukkah card. And then you have your sidebar page, and then yeah, so that is everything, and I am just going to pull out these pages and jump in. So I am so excited to share this spread with you today. I absolutely love how this turned out, especially the date topper and the sidebar. I just think it looks so good, and I'm really excited about it. I decided to use these date covers from Rose Colored Days, which matched the kit super well. And the date covers that were included in the kit have like the whole color palette of the kit on them, where like the colors alternate the same as the glitter headers do. And I just wasn't really feeling that, so I decided to pull these out of my collection and then do a very decorative foil topper on them. And I just love how it turned out. I think it looks so pretty. And I also did something similar to what I did on Thanksgiving, which is I did that sort of more foil deco-y style of planning, but with the more sort of classic scene style kit, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But basically in my head, I categorize the sort of Scribble Prints Co., Sticky Essentials, Caress Press, like those style of kits, and the more like floral, delicate style that you see from like Two Little Bees and Miss and Meow and Sadie Stickers. I kind of have them like categorized separately in my brain, and I really love both of those styles of kits. And that's not to say there's like no overlap of elements between them, but I kind of used to think of those as like two distinct styles of planning, and now I'm sort of been blending them a little bit more, and I've been really loving the results of that lately. Anyway, so I did that again this week, and I think it turned out so nicely, and I just absolutely love how it looks. I'm working on those date toppers right now using, I think, all of the foil elements that I used up at the top, including the date dots. Everything but the date covers were from Sadie Stickers this week. So I've got these string lights going every other day, and I'm hanging the date dot off of them using a like dangle drop down from Sadie Stickers, and I think it looks so cool and so cute. It kind of looks like the date dot is like an ornament or like a hanging light that's hanging off the string of lights. So I thought that looked really fun and special together, and I did that on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then on the other days I used the snowflake dangles, and I put the date dots up high. And I actually really have been liking the look of that lately, of having the date dots not in the same spot every single day. I just think it's really fun, and I don't know, for me it seems very like wintry, festive-y, although I'll probably keep doing it in the spring if I like it, and we'll see how I feel about it then, if I still think it seems like a winter thing. Probably just because of these snowflake date dots, but I do actually have a lot of winter date dots, so I'm hopeful that I can use them kind of all winter long, because I actually really like seasonal date dots. I think that's just a very nice touch on a spread. But yeah, anyway, this is definitely one of my favorite date toppers that I've ever done, and usually with a kit like this, I would go like a little bit more simple or just do the washi or something like that. But I think this looks really nice, and especially since I pulled in the date cover that was like a little bit more simple than the ones that were included in the kit, I don't think it looks like too busy or anything like that. And I really like the way that it looks. Like I said, this was kind of a very like busy and bold color kit, so I think it's nice to have something a little bit softer and just foiled at the top. Although that being said, I was recently looking back through some of my like older spreads, and I actually do kind of miss the washi at the top. I like the decorative stuff at the top is so fun to do, and it just feels really creative, and I think it looks really nice. But there's something really nice about having the washi up at the top that's just like speaks to the part of my brain that just craves crave symmetry in all things because it makes the spread look very, very symmetrical when you have the washi at the top and the washi at the bottom. So if I have the right kit coming up this winter, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I have a lot of winter floral foil elements and I really want to use them too. But I was thinking about that as I looked back over my spreads. Like, this is certainly a lot more decorative and fun to do. But there is something nice that I do a little bit miss about the way the washi looks. It's also like if I ever have a week where I need to save some time on the planning part, that definitely would save me a lot of time. Anyway, then I'm just creating this little scene up at the top. And lately what I've been doing on the sidebar is I like the top, like the full box that I use on the sidebar to be lined up with where it would go if it were in the week. So running it from like the bottom of where you would put the full box for the week, if that makes sense. I just think that, again, it's the part of my brain that craves symmetry. I just think that makes things look very symmetrical when you have that, because then later in the week I usually just do one full box during the week in the top part, usually either on Saturday or Sunday, and this week I did it on Saturday. But so I just think that there's something about having it in like that exact spot that makes it look really symmetrical. And then likewise, on the same thing, I've been putting the weekly ombre, which I use to write down my meals for the whole week for some unknown reason where I feel it necessary to write down everything that I've had dinner every day of my life for about the past 5 years. So in case you were ever wondering, what you had on a random Thursday night for dinner 4 years ago, I could tell you that. I don't know if you could, but I could certainly tell you that. Anyway, I've also been putting that box in line with where it would go if it were in the spread, if that makes sense. And then just kind of decorating all of the space in between. I haven't really been doing any journaling entries or journaling space in the spread. I think I spoke about this like maybe in a recent video, but I just find that it looks, even if you write super neatly, it ends up looking really messy to have all of that writing together. And it's also just not enough space to do like a full journaling justice. So I've just moved the journaling out of here and into a different space. And the complement between the two, where like on the journaling, I can write a lot more about like the emotions of the week and, what was going on in that kind of way and then having this to kind of pair with it, which has a very much more descriptive things of the things that happened in the week. And the combination of the two, I think, works really beautifully together for memory planning. I still get to play with all of the stickers. I still get to, think through all of my thoughts. I still get to process everything. And then I also still get to have some fun with art sometimes as well, which I'm hoping to bring more of back into my planning next year, or my planning / journaling next year, which is why I got that specific art journal for next year. Anyway, a little shout out to my planner lineup video there, which if you haven't watched that, you should definitely check it out if you're curious to see what I'm going to be using in terms of planners this year. I have a big 4 system and it works super well for me. And I am making some changes like for next year versus last year, but it's like overall the same system, if that makes sense. Anyway, I am just putting down some overlays on some of the boxes. I didn't do them on all of them, but I had these like solid snowflake ones, and I actually only have 2 unfoiled kits picked out for this winter, and the other one matches better with silver, so I decided to just go ahead and use all 4 of these and just put them on select boxes, and then I didn't put any other overlays on any of the other ones, but I did use some more of like the string lights and some of the snowflake corners to sort of decorate some of the other boxes and just like make the garland that was hanging on that stairs just a little sparkly. I think it looks really nice, and I really like the way that looks. And then I'm going to bring in some more of those snowflake corners to the day by day as well, and just, I don't know, make it look like the snowflakes are creeping in a little bit more wintry. This week was honestly pretty warm, but it's full on winter. I'm calling it. I don't know. There recently on 538, which is like a website that does like politics and sports, if you don't know, they had like a whole thing about when people think the seasons start, and they did like a very informal poll and like put together all of the data. And a lot of people think that winter starts on the first day of December, on December 1st, or a lot of people think it starts like the day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday. And I thought that was really interesting. For me, like, I know like solstice, whatever, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like I know that officially winter begins on the winter solstice, but that's already towards the end of December. And just for like most of the climates I've lived in, like pretty much everywhere besides Texas, that's like way too late to start winter. So I don't know. I kind of agree with like the December 1st thing. This sequentially in my planner, even though this is the first winter spread that I planned, sequentially this will be the second winter spread in my planner once I go back and plan my Hanukkah spread. Anyway, on Monday, I just had a normal Monday where I did work and I grabbed a script from Paper Trail Plans that was from a sampler, and it actually said work from home, or WFH, which I've worked from home since 2014, so I don't need to mark that I'm working from home in my planner. I just mark when I work. I don't even work full time anymore. But I just decided to use it since it was in the sampler and I was using things from that sampler, and just use what you have. And you know what? I was working from home, even though that's totally normal for me. And then instead of doing my work in the afternoon, I just cozied up with a cup of tea and watched a bunch of YouTube videos, just a lot of planner videos. And yeah, I just called it a day instead of finishing the work that I needed to do. But that's fine. It was nice. And then my youngest, who is almost 2, got bit at school this day. So we got like an incident report sent home, and the teacher like said something to me, obviously. And I find that the school sends incident reports like at the drop of a hat. I mean, they don't like call you or anything unless it's really bad. But you know, anytime anything happens, they send an incident report. So I was just like, oh yeah, I'm sure she's fine, whatever, to the teacher. I was just like very much brushing it off. And then I looked at her arm when she got home, and she really got bit. Like, she had teeth marks visible in her arm like many hours later, and a giant bruise. I was like, wow, this kid got bit. But anyway, she's totally fine now. It's obviously healed and everything. And she learned, a not so valuable lesson that when you cry after something happens, you get a lot more attention. And ever since this happened, she's been like very dramatic or over dramatic when she falls, or like when one of her siblings like does something to her. She's like, I have an ouchie, and she just gets like really, really dramatic about it. But anyway, it's cute, but not necessarily the lesson I would want her to take away from that. Anyway, that day we just kind of played outside in the afternoon because it was pretty warm and it hadn't been warm in a while, so that was nice. Not for too long because it gets dark super, super early. And then we also watched Succession that night after the kids went to bed. And that was the second to last episode in the season. And oh my gosh, it's just such a good show. And I will miss it so, so much now that it's not on anymore, at least for now. So on Tuesday, since I had majorly slacked on doing my work on Monday, I woke up before the kids got up. I woke up around 5 and just did like an hour and a half, or maybe like 5:30, and did like an hour and a half or so of writing before I needed to go down and get everyone ready for school and all of that stuff. So I just did some writing in the morning to kind of make up for some of that. And honestly, I just write a lot better in the morning anyways, so it worked out totally fine. And then I went to Starbucks and Target. I went to Target and then Starbucks, and then I did some more work in the afternoon, and my mom came over for a little while to see the kids and hang out. And then that night we actually finished Lost in Space on TV, which is a show on Netflix. It's like a remake of, I think that's like an old show, but it might be an old movie. I can't remember. I haven't seen the original, but we enjoy the Netflix one. It's not like the greatest thing on or anything, but it's like a fun little family sci-fi show if you're into that kind of thing. And then that night I took a bath. So then on Wednesday, I did some more work this week. The beginning of this week was actually super busy with work stuff. I've just been, I had like my regular Wednesday thing that I've been covering, which is almost over, and I've just been writing a lot lately, so which is good. But I did some more work, and then I had like a little bit of a self day of beauty, or whatever you want to call it, where I just took a shower and straightened my hair, like blew out my hair and straightened it, and then painted my nails for having later in the week. And then I spent some time organizing in the office and just like got together a bunch of supplies. And I was planning to do a lot of filming on Thursday and Friday since my work was mostly out of the way. And I just wanted to like get everything super organized and ready to go and like pulled together and all of that stuff. And then that afternoon or that evening, I think that evening after bed, we didn't have anything else to watch on TV, and I just did some reading and just like chilled out and relaxed. And then I also marked down. My son was just super, super wild all afternoon and all evening, and just like very, very tantrumy and cranky, which is probably why I just read after the kids went to bed. A lot of times I feel like when we've had like a rough afternoon, that's kind of just what I feel like doing, is either taking a bath or just reading. And then the Fox and Pip Girl, I feel like fit better in the spread there instead of having it on the bottom, since it's just like a little bit longer than the boxes or taller than the boxes. So I just moved the thing about my son down. I do try and go in chronological order, but for some stuff, I just kind of fit it where it needs to go. And also, that wasn't really necessarily a chronological order thing. It was just like an all afternoon kind of a thing. Anyway, I decided to go back with a couple more of the little snowflake corners in. I've been trying to use them as I go through the spread, but I will go in and add even more at the end where I missed them or where I thought they could be added. But I was trying to do it on the day by day. Anyway, on Thursday, oh my gosh, we woke up in the morning and like my husband usually wakes up first and goes down and makes the coffee. Well, my son usually wakes up first, but he usually takes my husband downstairs and then I come down a little bit after. And so as soon as I got downstairs, my husband was just like, look at his eye. And I was like, okay, that's pink eye 100%. Anyway, we took my big kid to school since her eye looked fine and she was still going to school. And then I immediately called the doctor's office like the second that they opened and was just like, told the nurse what was going on, and she was just like, well, that really sounds like pink eye, so you can come in if you want to, but I can also just call in a prescription for you. I was like, please just call in the prescription. I was like, that's not something you need to see the doctor for. Anyway, I had the prescription like in my hand by 8:20 in the morning so that we could get the drops started right away, because after a day on the medicine, you're not contagious anymore, and so he could go back to school on Friday because we got the drops early enough on Thursday. So that was my goal with that once I saw that. And honestly, it looks so much better by like as soon as you start the drops. And then I took the kids to McDonald's for breakfast since we just needed to be out of the house and I didn't really want to take him anywhere with his like eye looking disgusting. So we just got like some takeout and drove around and played outside for a little, even though it was, I think, kind of cold at that point, until the cleaners were done at the house. And then I just hung out with him today, all day. We got some good one-on-one time since when the baby took her nap and stuff. And then that night, as our Thursday usual, we got takeout after the kids went to bed. We call it our spicy food night to the kids. That's what we tell them it is. We just get spicy food for dinner every Thursday night, which honestly we usually do, but that's that we just like feed them something simple and then eat after they go to bed, and we watch TV. And lately that's been Wheel of Time, since Wheel of Time actually comes out like Thursday at 7, and you can watch it for like Thursday prime time, which is cool that it drops then instead of like at midnight. So anyway, that's what we've been doing on Thursday nights, and we got Thai food this week. So then Friday was my husband's birthday and he was off work, so I just did like some work and some filming in the morning, and then we went out for a super fancy lunch. We went to Fogo de Chao for a lunch date. It was really, really fun, totally over the top, way too much food, but super, super delicious and just a really good time. And then we went to Costco afterwards by ourselves without the kids, which honestly, even though like we were doing something that needed to be done for the house and the family, which was getting more food, it felt very relaxing to be at a store like that without any kids with us and to have both of us there. So that was actually really nice and really fun. It was also the least amount of money I think we've ever spent at Costco because we were so full. We got like only the essentials. So, you know, I know that's like always a tip, like to go to the supermarket when you're not hungry, but I think it works like 4,000 times as well at Costco, since they have like so many delicious snack foods there that you can just buy in bulk. And also, like, meat and fish is the main thing we buy there. That's why we go there, and we go like every other month and just like fill our deep freezer with food, like with meat and fish for the next couple of months. And I was just like, after eating at Fogo de Chao for lunch, I was like, I can't even think about steak right now. And we bought like a lot less than we usually would have. Although I guess that's bad because we will probably have to eventually go back sooner than we otherwise would have because we didn't get quite as much. But anyway. That's what we did. And then that night we just like hung out, really the whole rest of the afternoon. We didn't do anything too special or anything, just kind of hung out and digested, if you will. Anyway, on Saturday, I marked down that we had like a nice coffee morning. I don't remember if we got it out or if we made lattes at home, but then we went to my mother-in-law's house to hang out and see her, and we got some sushi for lunch. Usually when we're there, we get like pizza and cheesesteaks from this place by her that we really, really like, but I was just like, I cannot eat that today. I think I was like still full from lunch, just like this whole whole weekend even. So we just got sushi. Even at the next day on Sunday too, I went with like a much lighter fare for lunch than I otherwise usually would have. It stayed with me. Anyway, and then I worked on my goal setting this afternoon, and I took like a big chunk out of it, and that was super nice, and I'm feeling really good about it. I'm not quite done yet, but I'm excited to be all done with it. And then that night I took a bath I lit some candles, and I think I did a face mask, and I had like a very, very spa relaxing bath. And then on Sunday, our kids were all just super, super whiny, and I was just like, we need to get out of the house. We need to go somewhere, do something, not a grandparent's house, like go and do something. So we couldn't think of anything to do. And then my husband was just like, let's just go to the mall. We used to do that all the time, like pre-COVID, and we haven't been since. And I was like, I don't know if the play place is back open. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But we decided to just go because we couldn't think of anything better. And the play place was open, and my kids were the only kids there, so they had it all to themselves. It was wonderful. We had really fun time. We like went to the mall before the stores are open, so we could just like walk around and window shop. They could see all the Christmas decorations, and it was like completely deserted. There was like almost no one there. And then we stayed until like stuff opened. We just went to Lush. That's literally the only store we went in. And I got some bath stuff for me, but also for the kids. They love Lush. Everybody loves Lush. I don't know. And then we had lunch at the mall, and they have like this really fancy food court, and we went to the fancy food court, and they actually had live music playing. So there was like a band playing Christmas music, and that was really cool. So we had a lot of fun, and I got a fantastic picture of all three of the kids wearing like matching maroon colors, whatever. They were all wearing like maroon shirts, which we have been trying for so don't get a picture of all three of them, and the cooperation levels have been non-existent. But something about being, we don't do pictures with Santa, but we were like near where Santa would be, except it was like Sunday before the mall opened, so he was not there yet. But we took a picture like near all the decorations and stuff. I was actually just near like poinsettias and flower and like the greens and stuff, and it just looked really nice. And I said, okay, let's take a picture. And the baby just like sat down in front of this plant and was just like, cheese. And I was just like to the other kids, I was like, go, run, get in there right now. And I finally got a picture, which I needed. And then the following week after this, I was able to order every year for like Christmas/Hanukkah, although I guess we missed it for Hanukkah this year. We order calendars where with the months of the year, and I was finally able to get that ordered because I was just trying to get a good December picture, which I finally had. Anyway, the rest of that day we just hung out. My parents came over for a little while, and we just watched TV in the evening, and I think we watched SNL. Billie Eilish was the host, and I already looked it up. But yeah, she was so good. She was really, really funny. I was like very surprised and delighted by how funny she was in a lot of the sketches. And also we watched her performance of that one song that's on the radio. I forget what it's called, but I really like that song. And we hardly ever watch the musical guests. My husband even said to me, he said, I think this is the second time we've watched the musical performance all year. And the first time was Miley Cyrus. Like, what does that say about us as people? And I was just like, no apologies for my love of Miley Cyrus. Her voice is so incredible. And yeah, definitely. Usually we just fast forward through the musical act though, and honestly sketches that aren't so great, but this was a really great episode. So yeah. Anyway, I am just going back in with a little bit of extra decorations, some little extra foil bits and bobs. I think all of the foil that I used this week in terms of like the overlays and the deco, I think all of it was from Sadie Stickers, except for that gift tag up at the top is from Miss and Meow, but I literally think everything else is from Sadie Stickers. I used obviously Fox and Pip for my character sticker this week, and then a bunch of foil icons, most of which are from Crafts by Towie, but there are some other shops in there. I do have everything linked in the description below, and if you ever can't figure out where a sticker is from, definitely leave me a comment, and I will be happy to share where that's from. But yeah, I think that is just about everything for this week. Okay, that is everything all finished up. Absolutely love how this looks. I think this was such a fun topper and just a really fun spread. So let me show you what I have left from the kit. It's quite a bit since these kits are quite large, but I did use a number of the functional items. Obviously, I didn't use any of this page. I was just not feeling this bottom washi, and I just decided to mix things up a little bit, but I really love how this spread turned out, like I said, so there's plenty of leftovers here for destash, but that is everything for this week. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I'd love it if you'd subscribe and check me out on Instagram at mycraftyplans to keep up with everything going on in my planner. Bye!